Is good, everybody? My Paper Moon fam. It's your boy, PaperSin, back with another reaction video. This one is called How Music's Biggest Coke Rapper Cleaned Himself Up. And it's by the YouTube channel. Yep, we're back with helloyassine. So let's get started.
At one point, Jeezy was known as the Snowman, and it had nothing to do with the white stuff falling from the sky. But today, he's far better known for his maturity. From street riches to corporate riches, Jeezy's the blueprint for making it out.
For real.
Jeezy was born in 1977 in Columbia, South Carolina. Jay-Z's parents separated when he was only a toddler, which resulted in him relocating to Atlanta, where he lived with different family members throughout his childhood. Jeezy speaks of his childhood as an empty experience, as he basically never had proper parenting in his early years.
I'm glad he at least had both parents.
Were Lil Jeezy's most significant role models at the time, and he admits to listening to them every morning before school. Jeezy desperately needed guidance, and he saw it in Tupac. He had values, he had morals, he had integrity, but I had never seen that before, because my uncles would steal $20 out your socks. I couldn't get any information out of my family members, and that's why he had to learn how to survive and navigate through the streets on his own with the help of music. I listened to Tupac as if that was my Bible, how to move, how to handle situations, and it was embedded in me. Young Jeezy was basically bounced back and forth between his relatives. At the beginning, Jeezy used to live with his mother in a trailer. They didn't really have any money, and Jeezy's mom was battling alcohol addiction and struggling with post-divorce depression at the time, which didn't make for a good environment. At one point, Jeezy's mom had enough of the kid and pointed a gun at him, telling him to get out. Then Jeezy lived with his father, but after a short period of time, his pops sent him to his aunt, where Jeezy built a close relationship with his cousins. All those things led to Jeezy getting caught up in the street life at an early age. By only 11 years old, Jeezy was already selling illegal substances on the streets of Macon. Interestingly, it was Jeezy's cousins that showed him the way into the underworld of Atlanta. Jeezy dropped out of school and left his grandmother's house to live on the streets full-time somewhere around the age of 15. Jeezy cut all ties with his family members and was very reluctant to talk to them when they were trying to check up on him.
Makes sense. I mean,
Another reason for Jeezy's cold response was his mentality. He thought of being on the streets as of serving in the military. He allegedly joined the Black Mafia family, 1300 Duncan Block Crips to be exact, and was incarcerated in a youth boot camp for the first time in 1994 for drug possession when he was 17 years old. Jeezy spent 9 months there and was released back to the streets after. Incarceration was definitely something that planted the seed of change in young Jeezy's mind, as the experience he got there was enough to keep him from getting into trouble for some period of time. Even more than that, Jeezy was looking for ways to get success away from the street hustle. That's how his rap career started. He found a music company of his own with his close friend Demetrius Kinky B. Ellerby. They called it Corporate Thugs Entertainment. Under this label, Jeezy released his first independent album, Thuggin' Under the Influence, under the Lil J moniker in 2001. 2 years later, Jeezy dropped his second project, Come Shop With Me. Those two records made a huge splash in the rap landscape, and some of the biggest record labels, including Interscope and Warner, were ready to recruit young up-and-comer Jeezy. Lil J at the time ended up signing with Bad Boy Records in 2004 and joined the Boys in the Hood group. Basically, every project in which Jeezy participated was a huge success. Lil J's records topped charts and generated Jeezy amounts of cash he had never had before. However, it was difficult for Jeezy to leave the lifestyle he had been picturing in his tracks behind, and despite the immense success, he still needed some guidance.
Where do you get that from?
Surprisingly, it was another famous rapper, T.I., who was there to help young Jeezy. The two met when Jeezy was working on his first album with a major record label, Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101. I was working on Thug Motivation. T.I. came to the studio. I'm doing my thug thing. I probably got about 2.5 in the booth sitting with me. I'll never forget. He looked in and was like, yo, let me holla at you for a second. T.I. wanted to talk about Jeezy's street life and the concerns he had about the young artist. Yo, you know you can't do both, right? Said T.I. You're talented. You're gonna blow at some point. If you continue to do what you're doing, I don't know how it's gonna work out for you. Jeezy was surprised to hear that from T.I. and responded, well, shoot, don't you do both? Cause you're the rubber band man. He's like, hell nah, I left that alone a long time ago. For me, that was a real wake-up call, said Jeezy. Shortly after, Jeezy took two of his Nextel Chirp cell phones and just threw them out the window. I was done. When I would see people in the street, they were like, yo, I owe you money. I'm like, nah, you ain't owe me nothing. Keep that, live your life. I'ma do this.
Bro, that's what's up. See, you gotta have those mentors, those figures in your life. Especially if you out there in the streets and you growing up without that. So shout out to T.I. for doing that. You know what I'm saying? I another good reason why he calls himself King of the South. You feel me? But like, imagine that even your fucking dad is going through your socks and shit, taking $20 out and taking that with him, and after your parents like you divorce, your mom's get tired of you, puts a gun to your face and says, you know what I'm saying, get out and shit like that. But imagine having to go through all that and feeling like you're not even loved by your own parents. Like, damn, bro. Like, I know I said like at least he had both parents earlier, but shit, maybe he might have been better without them. I don't know, but at least in the end, you know, he turned out how he is. You know what I'm saying? And made millions, cleaned himself up. He didn't get busted and end up in jail, luckily. And yeah, shit. I mean, because I'm grateful I have both my parents, and they were both in the military, so they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had to live that strict life. But damn. Shout out to T.I.
Jeezy got T.I.'s wise message, although, just like with Lil J's early incarceration, it wasn't enough to fully turn Jeezy's life around yet. In 2005, Jeezy wasn't the only extremely talented prospect from Atlanta in the rap game. There was also Gucci Mane. Initially, there was nothing but mutual respect between the two, as Gucci and Jeezy created multiple viral tracks like Black Tees and So Icy throughout that period of time. Right. However, things got sour as Jeezy failed to show up at Gucci Mane's live show to perform So Icy.
Oh shit.
His performance should have been a large part for the marketing campaign, although the opportunity was missed. Some even speculate whether Jeezy made it on purpose after failing to get the green light to include the track on his own debut record. Shortly after, punches were thrown in the form of disses. Jeezy's Ruthless Stay Strapped and Gucci's Round 1. Jeezy went at Gucci Mane and went as far as placing a bet on Gucci Mane's chain in the lyrics. I got a bounty on that thing, 10 stacks. So if he come to your town and you just happen to snatch that MF off his neck, I'm gonna shoot you the 10 stack, man, so I can cremate this dude. Things escalated after the disses went public, and mere weeks after their release, things got physical. On May 19th, 2005, 4 men broke into Gucci Mane's house and started beating him, threatening to shoot Gucci down.
Oh shit.
Gucci Mane grabbed a gun of his own and shot one of the attackers dead.
Had to.
It happened to be Corporate Thug's entertainment rapper and Jeezy's friend Pookie Loc. Jeezy denied any connection to the case, while Gucci was charged with murder, which he was later acquitted of due to the incident being recognized as self-defense. More jabs were thrown throughout the next few years, with 2 rappers igniting their beef with more and more disses. Somebody had died at this point. Gucci 745, Jeezy 2423. The two tried to squash their beef in 2009, but in 2012, Gucci mentioned that he has no respect for Jeezy in an interview, which reignited the beef. Jeezy and Gucci Mane continued to trade blows for another 8 years.
God damn!
But this time, they finally seemed to find an excellent way to decide who was in the wrong for good. Gucci and Jeezy decided to face off in a versus battle, which we'll talk about later in this video. Despite Jeezy being involved in multiple brawls, assaults, and even shootouts.
Real quick though, like, I guess that's obviously a reason why you need to, you know what I'm saying, keep one in the crib, especially, or at least maybe one even on you, especially, you know what I'm saying, if you have beef going around, and because you don't know who's gonna show up at your spot and try to, you know what I'm saying, do you dirty like that. It's unfortunate the situation had ended how it ended, but I get why it had to happen. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man. If only we could just like try to, especially if both, since they're both in the music industry, they're both trying to make it and both trying to do their own thing. If only they just stay, you know what I'm saying, working that, you know what I'm saying, working and shit. But all this started over, like, you know what I'm saying, he failed to show up and perform. Did it really, you know what I'm saying, is that really what it takes to take someone's life, to end up taking someone's life. Like, someone died over that shit, bro. Anyway.
During his all-out war with Gucci Mane,
Was that
those
really
were
worth
far
it?
from the only dangerous activities in his life. Jeezy was arrested at least 5 times in the time span from 2005 to 2015.
Damn.
The first time was in 2005 for 2 counts of carrying a concealed firearm without
every
a
other
permit,
year.
shortly after a shootout in which members of Jeezy's entourage were involved. In short, there was a fight that involved 2 of Jeezy's people. The whole scuffle was filmed by an unknown passerby who refused to give away his phone to one of the participants to hide any video evidence the man could have on there. Then someone threatened the passerby with a gun and shots were fired. All participants in the fight, including Jeezy, tried to flee by car, but were stopped by an officer shortly after. Jeezy had 2 semi-automatics on him and was eventually taken to the police station. Jeezy and his lawyer denied the accusations and soon the charges were dropped. In 2008, the feds wanted to take the Black Mafia family by the throat and were going at one of its members, Fleming Ill Daniels. Even though it wasn't Jeezy's case, one of the gang ex-members snitched and name-dropped Lil J as one of the recipients of BMF's cocaine. Jeezy's name was actually mentioned multiple times throughout the trial because of his close connections to the gang and its members. Neither Jeezy nor his lawyers commented on that situation, and soon a Justice Department spokesman clarified that a defendant or witness can trot out any name they want. It happens all the time. And there was not enough evidence to press charges against Jeezy. However, only a week later, Jeezy was arrested in Atlanta for a DUI.
Wait, that whole the arrest and the other dude dropping his name, that's almost like some 6ix9ine shit, you know what I'm saying?
Reckless driving, and no proof of insurance. Jeezy blamed the car wash for losing the temporary license plate and was released on bail later. There was also a strange incident in the Bahamas, where Jeezy had a concert and was arrested for an unknown reason. Jeezy's agent later spoke on the matter and said that Jeezy was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time and had nothing to do with any illegal activity whatsoever. Jeezy was released later that day. In 2012, Jeezy got caught up in another controversy, brawling with another famous rapper, none other than Rick Ross, at the BET Awards show. The confrontation started with words, but ended with shoves and pushing. Some even reported that they heard gunshots when the altercation moved to the parking lot, although the police spokesman shut down those rumors later. No charges were pressed, and no one was seemingly injured.
I just felt like, he spoke, I spoke, and that was basically it. But at the end of the day, it's been going on for a while, so I just felt like if it was to be handled, it should have been handled there.
That very same year, Jeezy got into another brawl, this time with his own 17-year-old son, of all people.
God damn!
Allegedly, Jeezy and his son, Jadarius, were arguing over a text message the teenager sent Jeezy earlier. The confrontation happened in a bathroom and the fight broke out. According to the sources, Jeezy threw his son into the shower's glass door, which resulted in it hurting his head.
Oh.
Then, Jeezy allegedly threw a punch at his son's face, dragged him to the bedroom, and threw him over the bed and pummeled him. Also, the report stated that Jeezy tried to choke the kid and threatened to kill him with a handgun if only he could get away with it. This entire time, Jeezy's bodyguard was blocking the door, allegedly, so Jeezy's son couldn't escape. More than a year later, in 2014, Jeezy was arrested on charges of battery, false imprisonment, and making terroristic threats. Jeezy was released on $45,000 bond and was set to attend the courtroom to fight off the claims.
I wonder if all those actions, I know I'm pausing a lot, my bad, not sorry. I don't wonder if all those actions that he did against his son was kind of learned from his dad, in that way.
Jeezy denied all the allegations, but made it clear that he did push Jadarius when the latter got in his face, although no punches, let alone chokeholds, took place. Jeezy accused Jadarius' mother of brainwashing him to try to blackball Jeezy to squeeze every penny she could from him.
Shit.
The day before the trial should have taken place,
I believe
all
that.
the charges were dropped, which meant that Jeezy escaped any possible jail time over the incident. Just weeks after this drama, Jeezy was taken to the police station yet again for not providing his real name to the officers and cussing out the policemen instead. Only half a year later, Jeezy was arrested once more, now for potential possession of illegal weapons amidst fatal shooting at Wiz Khalifa's live show, which Jeezy attended as well. Jeezy's tour bus was searched and an AK rifle was found, although it didn't match the initial reports of a killer shooting from a black handgun with a large clip. Jeezy pled not guilty, and the charge was dismissed due to a lack of evidence after the DNA test proved that neither Jeezy nor his entourage actually touched the gun. To summarize, Jeezy's name was involved in at least 15 cases in the span of 10 years,
Shit.
which is way more than an average person gets in their lifetime. However, it would be unfair to say Jeezy hasn't learned his lesson and has stayed the same since that time. Ever since that moment of wisdom Jeezy had with T.I., he had slowly been making steps towards financial independence, thus marking the beginning of his transformation from gangster rapper to legit businessman. In the 2 decades of his successful rap career, Jeezy managed to open an online merchandise store of his own and a marketing agency called Agency 99, and collaborate with American Cut Steakhouse in Atlanta. Jeezy also built a 6-story compound studio in the city, becoming an advisor for a tequila brand, and made a partnership with the NBA team, the Atlanta Hawks. All that while being the founder and CEO of the Corporate Thugs Entertainment label, which was where the majority of his music was distributed through, although in partnership with a major label. Throughout the years, Jeezy slowly and methodically made successful investments in different ventures and changed his focus from street hustle and music to business, real estate, and charity. Jeezy's Street Dreams Foundation had been helping people in need for more than a decade now, making him far more than just a rapper from Atlanta. He became a certified local legend just from the music, but a badge of honor represented by the Phoenix Award, which was given to him personally by Atlanta's mayor. Jeezy also made a ton of progress in real estate, and according to himself, Jeezy, quote-unquote, owns half of Atlanta at the moment. Obviously hyperbole. When it comes to music, Jeezy also had it all covered. In 2019, Jeezy completed his contract with Def Jam, thus getting full ownership of his master recordings moving forward, making Jeezy really the only one to eat off of his music after 2019.
The good shit.
His success as a real estate mogul isn't surprising, as according to him, quote, every big check Jeezy ever gets, he invests in the business. Jeezy's change of trajectory in music was marked by his Recession album, released in 2007. According to Jeezy, he always wanted to be more than a rapper. Jeezy wanted to be a motivator, a leader. When I came out of the streets, I had what you call survivor's remorse, so I wanted to bring everybody I could with me. It was a lot of extra weight, extra stress, just a bunch of uncertainty. Around the recession is when I shook that off and started to understand who I was as an artist. I really put my pen and pad together and wrote what I felt like was a body of work for the world to hear, not just the hood. Jeezy also recently opened up about the concept of his albums being more like, quote, self-help books, where, quote, each song is a chapter, than regular tracks. Overall, Jeezy has a completely different outlook on the world now and resembles more of a wise individual who managed to make the best of his rough upbringing without falling into complete darkness or continuing to perpetuate that. Jeezy's change of attitude impacted the way he treated his enemies as well. The aforementioned beef with Gucci ended on the versus battle stage. It would be an understatement to say that the battle was extremely important for the rap industry. One of the biggest feuds in hip-hop of the 2000s, a deadly feud, let alone Atlanta, was finally set to come to a close. And both men certainly didn't disappoint. The battle started off heated, just as expected, with the two trading blows and firing shots at each other. Gucci Mane even went as far as disrespecting Jeezy's fallen friend, Pookie Loc, who was shot by Jeezy 15 years ago, and performed a diss track, Truth, on stage. However, the verses ended on a very unexpected note. Gucci and Jeezy performed the infamous track So Icy, which basically started this decade-long beef, thus signing a peace treaty and ending the whole drama.
Good shit.
Y'all niggas slow, man. Whoa, man. What the fuck y'all doing, man? I used to get 19 for a beat. Call me juvenile, the same OG. I'm the shit, bitch.
Going out to Olive Branch, I accept that. No disrespect, it's all love.
Love, my
That's
nigga. Let's
real
get it.
shit.
A-Town, this what it is, baby. 20 years, nigga. 20 years, nigga.
Been a long time coming.
20 years, nigga.
I salute you, Holiday.
Tell Jay-Z and Nas they better watch out.
Later, Gucci Mane said that he, quote, regrets mentioning Jeezy's friend, as he, quote, was caught in the heat of the moment. Although Gucci is still seemingly upset about the incident and name drops Pookie from time to time in his newer songs, Jeezy, on the other hand, has grown to the point where he stopped responding to any kind of negativity from Gucci or those that are mentioning their previous beef.
It wouldn't do him any good to
Jeezy's
now.
a changed man and a far cry from the person he was years ago. And it's been almost 10 years since Jeezy has had any legal issues. Jeezy's completely self-aware of his journey and wants other people to learn from his mistakes. If you take my situation, I was a coal in a dark hole, going through everything in the world. Every type of problem you can think of, every type of obstacle, every type of blackball ever done, I still stood with my head up and chest out. When you see me, I'm living proof that you can do these things. If you look at where I came from, what I've been through, or the obstacles that I've dodged to where I am now, it should give you hope. I came a long way. Make sure to subscribe for more.
That's what's up, bruh. Like, to go from all that to where you at now, like, that's what's up, to be honest. Because, like, a lot of people don't get the chance to do that. A lot of people don't even want to do that. But at the same time, sometimes it's just, sometimes it just takes the right advice to set a spark to lead to something great. So shout out to T.I. for doing that. I mean, obviously Jeezy had already had aspirations of wanting to be more than just a rapper, but maybe he needed that spark that T.I. gave him to reignite that ambition and to encourage him and to encourage that change. Because obviously, like, the change doesn't happen overnight. You still gonna have tendencies of things to do that you've done before, of that life that you lived before. So yeah, obviously the change takes a minute, but you know what I'm saying? While he was chilling in that cocoon, he was sorting out things that he needed to sort out, and then he became what he needed to become. And now look at him. So that's motivational in my opinion. So shout out. That's what's up. You feel me? But yeah, let me know what you think about the whole situation. Was it inspirational for you? You know what I'm saying? It inspired you to do what you've been doing, what you've been planning on doing, what you've been sitting on the couch not doing? Like me? But yeah, as always, link to this video and link to this channel will both be in the description below, so be sure to check them out. And while you're there, don't forget to do those 3 things I like to ask you to do, and like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that. In case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace and much love to you.